All righty. Welcome to C&V Sunday Mornings, the best Sunday Morning Comicsgate show out there, because really it's the only Sunday Morning Comicsgate show out there. So today I'm very happy that I have Preston and Anthony as our guests, and we are going to...
I hear an echo. Does anybody else hear an echo?
I'm not hearing any echo.
Me neither, little brother.
Oh, it must be on my end. Okay.
Okay. All righty. Today we are going to be talking about Anthony's Indiegogo campaign for God's Hand, and we will definitely be playing the trailer for that one. And we are also going to be talking about Preston's Doc Salem.
There you go.
Both of those are currently funding. The links to both of those should be in the description below. So if you haven't backed them yet, both of them look fantastic. Do get on them as soon as you can. Also, my campaign for Tilt is now funded, and I am at this point $476 away from hitting the first stretch goal. And with the first stretch goal, you're going to get a copy of the Virgin cover, a pinup of it. And you will also be getting, I just added this yesterday, a gentleman, boy, now his name's slipping my mind.
Is that the same guy that did some work for Paragon? Like he did.
He might have.
I think so.
At any rate, he sent me this. He sent me this is fan art, and I'm like, dear God, I've got to do something with this. So I contacted him. I said, look, I'll pay you a little something for this if you let me use it for my part of the stretch goal. So we settle on a price, and you'll get a pinup of this too. And my God, it is absolutely gorgeous. So I really owe him a thank you for that. But before we get on to talking about have these wonderful gentlemen talk about their comic books, I want to let's just start with a little bit of fun, shall we? All right. And yeah. First of all, this one here is one I found through the Daily Mirror, and boy, they got a lot of ads on the Daily Mirror here. Come on! Yeah, they got these ones where the little... I don't want smart alerts. Get lost. All right, let's see if I can... boy. What is going on here? Let's try refreshing it here. Besides, all right. All right, video loading. Yeah, this corpse actually waved, people.
What?
No, you got to watch this, and I'll bring it full screen if it lets me here.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get him to rig up a motor in my casket, and it's gonna go like this right before you throw the dirt on me. Just make it.
All right, let's try here.
Mine's gonna go.
This.
There you go, baby.
Right. Fuck you, motherfuckers! I ain't coming back. I'm out of here.
Wonderful. Here we go.
What are you going through? You got to turn the sound on.
Did I forget to turn the sound on? All righty, hang on. Let's do this real quick again.
This is the boomer. This is your boomer moment.
Yeah. Well, it probably won't be the only one. Let me tell you.
I hear you.
I have lots of them on this thing, and I consider myself tech savvy only because I've got parents and friends who are completely lousy when it comes to tech. So
no, that's the best thing to do. You just,
Okay, here we go. Watch carefully. Watch carefully.
Barang siapa percaya kepadaku, ia akan hidup walaupun ia sudah mati.
I've never seen anything.
I mean, I've seen something in the corner, but it looks like
that's it.
I wasn't sure if that was a.
I don't know if that's a wave.
What,
that
like
maybe a rat.
They locked some fucking animal in there. That motherfucker was in there like, wait, hold on, don't
that's way different than a wave.
Well, he's kind of trying to wave a little bit. All right, let's see if I can get a better screenshot of that here. And no, I'm just getting loads of ads.
You got a foot fetish?
What?
Either that or he hates dry skin, man. One or the other.
I really should have an ad blocker on this. Of course,
dude, I got my first ransom email like last week.
Yeah, that's right.
I haven't got a ransom email yet.
I got my first one. Like it was sent to an email address that I don't really use a lot, and all it said was Black Lantern, right? And I'm like, what's this? You know, so I open it and it's listen to me very carefully. Pay close attention because the next few moments will
change your life forever.
We've been monitoring you for the last 152 days through your webcam.
That's right.
We will show the world you masturbating.
Yeah, there you go. A little wave right there. Woo!
Well, you selling that wave, boy.
There we go. There we go. Right there. Right there. Woo! Yeah. Hey. Send some beer down here.
That's a rat. Those third world
lizard.
countries.
So that's what I'm saying.
Well, apparently, corpses actually do move after you die. Person dies and gets moved into a casket. Apparently, they've done. I don't know who would want to actually do this research, but they found that corpses actually do move after they die for I guess gas being released or whatever.
No, that's old school thinking. That's like turn of the century. Because the reason why they used to do that was because of gas being trapped inside of the body, but embalming stopped that. But in these third world countries, I'm not sure if they actually embalm the corpse. You know, they probably just shove them in there and be like, all right,
it's too soon. Let me out.
Yeah, because they used to say like during funerals, it used to freak the people out because the corpse would actually sit up in a coffin.
Now that well, when I die, then I'm gonna make sure to have specific instructions not to be embalmed and have open casket.
This is one thing, like, yeah, no, right? Anthony can tell you this. Like they had a thing, it was a fad for like a minute in Louisiana where they would actually embalm you and pose you at like what you did for a living, right? So they had this famous jazz singer and he was posed with his like his hat on, sitting in a chair with his trumpet and shit. The craziest thing. And I'm like, I totally want to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. How you saying? No, there's no doubt.
Dead
I'm like, damn,
they with some hellhounds and all kinds of We know where he's going.
That's it.
I'd want to just be there to see if he actually started playing the trumpet. That would be awesome.
I think I'm doing a Viking funeral. I'm just gonna, you can pose me. Look, I'm gonna do both. Pose me, put me on the ship, just light me on fire and push me out in the water.
All right.
Good, bro.
Put your favorite animal next to you. Like.
Exactly. The fucking animal's like, wait a minute, bro.
Make sure it's alive. I want off this boat.
Alrighty, let's do another one. This one's I like this one because this is let's see if here's the video. This I mean, you want to see some athletic talent here. Boy, this is it.
Rabbit.
No, it's a
cougar.
It's a bobcat.
It's a bobcat, and we got an ad in here. So let's try this again.
Oh, shit. Damn, your shit sucks.
I can't see the bobcat.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I'm getting
one. They had some down in They had some down in Luling, Preston. Guy I know.
Really?
Yeah, bro, cruising around, jacking squirrels up in the backyard. He sent me pictures of it.
Do they usually attack people, or are they?
I think it's one of those things where it's like
before we purchased the Ease health insurance plan, I went to Urban.
This is ridiculous. I didn't have half
the Morning Boomer Show.
There you go, brother. Morning Boomer Show. That's what you should call it.
Morning Boomer Show. All right, let's try this crap. Let's try this crap again. Here we go. Come on. There we go. All right.
Fuck, that could be Louisiana right there.
For God's sakes! Please tell me it did not. Okay, woo, it worked. Pretty good cat. I like it. All right, let's go to the last one here, and hopefully this one has absolutely no video on it, but I probably won't be that lucky. All right. All right. Coronavirus. Strip club offers drive-through service during U.S. lockdown. Now, I want to say this is both innovative and entrepreneurial, don't you think?
This definitely sounds like something New Orleans would do.
Let's see where it's at. The owner of this business says the main service that we're providing with this food delivery is a little bit of fun. And yeah, God knows.
Yeah, it's Boober Eats. We're talking
Boober Eats. All right. Oh man, look at that. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's how I want my. Well, Portland, Oregon. That's not exactly. I don't know. Would you expect to find that
to be like one of those throwback states or some shit like
a strip club in Portland, Oregon has found a novel way to stay afloat during the coronavirus pandemic. The Lucky Devil Lounge transformed itself into Lucky Devil Eats, which has dancers deliver food and food to go, a drive-up service where takeout orders come with an in-car experience that includes performances. Okay. After closing in March under stay-at-home orders, owner Sean Bolden decided in March to transform the business. All right. Tips are collected in a bucket at the drive-through strip club. Put about a dozen back to almost overnight. Lucky Devil put about a dozen of its employees back to work. Well, hey, they wear masks. They wear masks. I'd like to see this now. Wearing masks and gloves, but you know the boobs are exposed. That's what I want to see.
I have to say that is innovative.
That is very, very, very.
The only thing that would top that is have them deliver food, like in a string bikini or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, come to your door and just like you open the door, they do a little strip show. You pay
like hi, like hey.
All righty. Why don't we talk about God's hand first? And let's see here. And do you have a screen you want to share as well, or you just want to go off of the web?
We can go off of this one. I was going to say, maybe I should pull up my screen. I don't have quite as many ads, but I'm playing.
A string of murders in New Orleans has been uncovered. These aren't your typical acts of violence. The victims.
Doc, make sure you cut it off. I really don't want to see myself give a picture yet. You can just cut it right there. I get a bit tired of that shit.
Will do. Sinners with supernatural powers, led by the immortal Jean Lafitte, are called in to solve the case. As they delve deeper into Marie's death, they begin to suspect the rise of the Black Queen, an entity that has been asleep for centuries. Now awakened, her evil threatens to free the ancient gods of chaos and cover the world in a cloak of darkness. I smell human. As her minions crawl out of the shadows and threaten to unleash horror upon the city, only Jean Lafitte and his team of hunters stand between the darkness and the total destruction of the city. All help now rests in a team simply known as God's Hand.
Hey guys, my name.
I love it. I love the I smell humans, man. That is awesome. So tell us a little bit about this art here, and then and we'll do some art and then get to your tears.
About the artwork?
Well, yeah, like who drew it? What's going on in the picture here? I mean, what it's supposed to represent?
That's Jean Lafitte.
All right,
the immortal pirate Jean Lafitte, which I have to kind of give a rundown. I forget that people aren't from New Orleans and don't know who Jean Lafitte is. It's one of those weird things where it's so common you forget. But Jean Lafitte was a pirate, and he fought for the Battle of New Orleans in the War of 1812 with Andrew Jackson. Helped save the city, helped kind of turn the tide of the war. True blue pirate. He had a hideout in Barataria Bay. He also had a place on Bourbon Street, which he conducted business out of, which is called Gene Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop. Still there today. You can go there right now and go get a drink. You gotta wear a mask, but you got a drink. Put a little hole in it with a straw and shit. The artist is a really talented guy. I've known him almost my whole life. His name's Anthony Figaro. He's really good. You should check out. He's got his own and that's Gene Lafitte just standing there, just looking like real cool.
Now, is this just supposed to be like an octopus here, or is this supposed to have some Cthulhu?
Some Cthulhu, some Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. Okay.
Mythos to it, a little
Nice.
hint to it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Little precursor. Just a little flavor, just a little taste.
Now, I love this. This is one of the covers, right?
Yes, this is the main exclusive Indiegogo cover, and this is my character is called. He's the King of the Dead, modeled after the infamous character from the voodoo lore, Baron Samedi.
Okay, all right. I love the one little gold tooth there,
That's,
man.
that's New Orleans flavor. That's what you get when you gotta have one gold tooth, man.
Yeah,
I love flavor to it.
And what you've done with the smoke here, where it looks like there's actually little, faces, sinister faces in it too. I mean, again, those are just such nice little details. Really like that. All righty, you got your standard cover, same here. All righty, now this is Gene Lafitte, right?
Correct.
And behind him, some kind of Reaper character, it looks like, but
correct.
Okay.
That is the main villain from the first book.
Okay. Awesome. All righty. Who's this?
That's just like some sexy piece that Gene Lafitte has on the side. She's been waiting for him back in New Orleans. She's been opining over Gene Lafitte's, prowess. And his she likes his oars on his ship. You know what I'm saying? He has one specific oar that is very special to her.
Now, does this little guy here stay off to the side and like take pictures for him or something?
Sure. And then they blackmail him later. It's a blackmailing scheme. That's what
All right.
I like the angel teddy bear in the background.
Yeah. So it's the little things, Preston.
So this is the second time we're seeing this. Who is this here?
All right. So this is the main baddie in the first book, right? And so he's an ancient race called the Grievers. He's part of the Grievers, and his race had the ability to reap souls and consume them. So during the times of the ancient gods, when the ancient gods of chaos were in charge of everything, they had these priests and priestesses, and they would utilize the Grievers and to reap the souls, and they would then turn the souls over to the ancient gods of chaos to carry some type of favor. So they were very valuable until after the war, when they banished the ancient gods of chaos and signed a treaty. That ability to reap souls, to steal souls, became taboo. It became essentially a cardinal sin. And so they started to hunt that race down. So in the book, by the time you get to where we are, there's only a few of them left. And they're almost there. Basically, by the time we get there, they're almost extinct. There's no one has seen one in about 15 years since the Katrina incident. That's the last time they've seen one. So it sparks a lot of interest when Marie Laveau's soul is removed, because again, that's a cardinal sin. So they know something's up.
Wow. All righty. Okay. Let's go up and just talk a little bit about the tiers. What's story time?
Story time is you get the book.
All right. Signature series?
You get the book plus a signature.
Right.
and you get a metal bookmark that goes with it.
All right. International. This is just the same but with international shipping.
Yeah, but you get a dude who comes to your door, and he's got like a tuxedo on with a little mustache, and he's got a parish. He says, "Oui, how are you? I have your book for you." You know, so we get like the international thing. You know what I'm saying?
Does he take pictures too?
If you want, I mean, this is a full service. You know, if that's your
God's hand T-shirt.
Yes, you got those too. Those are beautiful, beautiful,
beautiful.
That is really nice. I'm not sure. I know I backed this. I did not back at this tier. I may have to go in and back this twice because I'm just looking at that now.
I think what you do is I think you can refund.
Yeah, but if I refund, they charge you extra money. So
do they? Yeah, from what I heard,
I don't want, and I don't want to do that. So
is that what you said? Is that true?
From what I heard, refunds a pain in the ass.
I got you.
I don't want to do that. I'll
it's bad when people would rather spend more money than try to get a refund.
You ain't lying. God damn.
Yeah. Well, I got to get one of these T-shirts, so I'm gonna have to go back and do this later, and I'll give the copy of the book. I'll give it as a gift to somebody. Okay, Double Trouble.
You get both copies. You get the standard and the exclusive cover. Now I have another tier that I'm gonna throw on there, but I'll try to figure out. It was one of the things, and I'll talk to you off air. It was one of the things I was trying to ask Preston about, but just I'm gonna add a third tier to it, but I'm gonna go back and see if I can add something different to the first two tiers, because I may want to swap out one of those books for the Andy Kuhn cover.
You can you can always do an add-on.
Yeah,
which is, where they go to when they go to checkout, like they can just add it onto the order. And
well, I'm gonna tell you what my question was. My question would have been, how do I give after the fact? Like, is there a way to give the consumer to say, "Hey,
listen, yeah,
what you understand what I'm saying?" Like, go ahead.
I went ahead and I know what you're talking about. Like, if they already purchased the tier, and
correct.
All right,
and they don't want that. They don't want this cover. They would prefer this cover over here.
Okay, what I did with that, I went ahead and I made a secret perk, and anybody who wanted it, all they had to do was send me an email, and I would send them the link to the secret perk, and I would limit it. Like, you can go up as far as how many people you can take advantage of it, but you can't go down. So if you only have one person that emails, you just put it as one, send them the link, and then if that way nobody's sharing the link around. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
If somebody else emails you, you just up it to 2 and then send the link out. You see where I'm going with that?
I got you.
That way you can give it to them. There's no shipping included, and the only problem is when you have to fulfill, it's a big pain in the ass. Because
I've kind of figured that shit. I kind of figured.
You have to figure who's got who selected multiple perks and who didn't. Like, that's what I'm running into now with Rockabilly Road Trip.
Okay, I'm gonna have another boomer moment here. How do I drop someone one of those wrenches?
From what I understand, like, you have to go to their name. You have to do this. And on the actual YouTube where you're doing it now. All right. And there's 3 dots next to let me see real quick. Let me see if I can figure it out real quick.
Okay.
No, I never did that yet.
No,
but I've heard somebody explain it. And so you go out to their So you go to their name in the chat.
Right.
Not here, but in the on the actual chat. And you hit those 3 dots, and it should give you all right, I see it. And it says add moderator. So you can add them as moderator.
And okay, I can see.
As soon as the name highlights, you're going to see 3 dots next to it.
Oh, all righty. There we go. Add moderator. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. You are a moderator, Tank. Thank you so much for
now destroy his channel.
Yeah.
Put porn links in his chat.
Well, I'm not necessarily
go forth and destroy.
Not necessarily opposed to that. 15 men on a dead yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. I guess someone really likes your book, Anthony. All righty.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
guy from Red Bank. It's best to be from the Red Bank than the West Bank. Oh man, that's terrible.
Creator Control. Now, what is this one? Must be good at this level.
That's right, man. I figured out today too. I was like, man, why did I only give them 2 books and only 2 bookmarks? And I'm like, oh, that's right. Indiegogo limits you to like 10 items. Because I went in this morning to change it to change it, and it won't let you. But there's more to it. So you get 3 Cod's Hands book, 3 metal bookmarks, issue of Count Carlos, which is a book that I crowdfunded in 2016, a copy of Justice City Chronicles, which I only have like 10 of those maybe left. That's a book that was published through Ape Entertainment and Lightning Age Studios in 2005. 2 12x18 metal prints, God's Hand hat and T-shirt, and art from the original cover. But the selling point is, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Wizard sent me something. I think New Orleans is still on for January, Preston. I think Wizard World New Orleans is still on.
They were pushing for it, I think, or maybe they canceled.
Wizard,
they sent me an email.
Did they? Because I saw one too, and I didn't. And they changed a couple of dates, but they did not. They said if everything else stayed the same, New Orleans wasn't on there as far as changes. So I got to look a little.
I ignore the fuck out of Wizard because
I hear you. Believe me, I hear you. Well, the last year I had a little problem, but what this includes is basically coming with me to Wizard and sitting behind the table and working the convention from behind the table, getting to kind of see what it's like to be behind the table at a convention. And then also afterwards, we're going to go to Gene Lafitte's blacksmith shop and experience that. Have a few drinks, maybe fucking get inappropriate. Who knows?
You bombs.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then afterwards, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna sit down and we're gonna go through and we're gonna create some of the book 2 and book 3. So usually I'll do it when you're extremely drunk. That way you won't remember the experience, and I'll be like, no, you created this character. You did this. You know what I mean? Anyways, but yeah, so it's a full-blown experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get to kind of get into it and see what it's like to be on the other side of the table, and at the same time we'll sit down, we'll go through books 2 and 3, go through story plots, story development, character development, create a character, and we'll put them in the story.
All righty, excellent. Okay, anything else you want to add here, Anthony, that you think potential backers should know?
It's probably the greatest book of its generation. I think if you don't get on with it, this is a watershed moment. You're definitely going to want to be a part of this. When this happens, they'll be writing about it. Gene Lafitte, War of 1812, Monica Lewinsky, and God's Hand. They'll all be just right there.
You're showing your age.
Yeah.
Well, I read this in a history book somewhere. You know what I mean? So
I had a friend who was just starting out his career as a political science professor back then, and he had actually read the Ken Starr report. And his students were asking him about it, and he said, how much did you read? And he just said, without even thinking, he said, I read the blow-by-blow account. And
there it is.
And he just said that was the one thing you never wanted to say to a class, because all hell broke loose for like 5 minutes. So, all righty.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. All righty. Let's have a wee bit more fun here before we these I promise I will not have boomer moments. And before we get to Doc Salem. All righty. Let's yes, let's share the audio. All righty.
Is this the one where they jump out on them?
No, this is a good one.
Oh yeah, I've seen these. Yeah, I think the only way you can get away with it is another country.
Oh Jesus, that'd have been right. This is when you trip the girl. Boom. Get him.
Oops,
Get him.
Sorry. Get her first.
Oh, you get your ass whacked with that fucking mop, bro.
Run.
Why would you drop the mop, son?
Run.
Oh my God! Get the fuck out!
All right, now this
Oh,
one,
my
I gotta pause for a second because this guy here in the black coat has phenomenal survival instincts. He has just the best survival instincts I have ever seen.
And probably a non.
I was about to say maybe from New Orleans. I mean, like you know, he ain't pulling this shit in New Orleans. I couldn't see this. You getting bad? You getting? There he is.
Let's see that. Let's see that one more time. All
We
right.
can't be friends anymore.
These are phenomenal survival instincts.
I mean, you got to do it a little more smoothly. You got to kind of like trip him like you're running by, like, oh man, I was an accident.
All right, let's go to the this one gets real boring out after here, so we'll do the next one. Hang on, big guy. Okay.
No, I could see. I mean, I could see you pulling that shit in New Orleans. It wouldn't end well.
Well, that's why they have to do it in a foreign country, because lawsuits would be flying like you wouldn't believe, dude. People would be dying.
No, they'd be damn bullshit.
Run.
Run from that. Must be a real suspicious.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I get. You know what it must be too is it being from New Orleans for us. You know, like we see people dressed up like this all the time. So you know, people be like, "Yeah, where you going? You going to the party? Where we going?" You know,
he's getting a beer.
That guy's an alcoholic. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Where you going?
Run.
I like how she just turned the crowd upside down.
I don't know. She's kind of close to. It's just to me, it's like, I don't know. Shit's crazy. It's crazy.
Run.
Come on, man.
It's so stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man.
Run.
Oh, this is a good one.
Again, in New Orleans, you'd be like, man, leave him sleep, bro. Leave him sleep, man.
Run.
Damn.
Die, dude.
Let's see what this one does.
You know, hit the see. That's what I'm saying, bro. You can get jacked up with one of them helmets, dude.
Run.
Oh, this dude here, bro. How you gonna drop your weapon and shit? Like,
Yeah, we know who's not getting laid tonight.
You're gonna drop the shit. The only thing. So,
Yeah, the only thing that can save you.
yeah, like something that can at least give you a chance. You can drop it.
All righty, let's move on to Doc Salem here.
Yeah, this is it right here. That's what I've been waiting for.
All righty. That. Do you have? Let me ask. Do you have any screen you want to share? Or do you just want me to share?
If you want me, I can share the video if you want. That's up to you. Like,
yeah. Well, why don't you? Yeah, I'm
sure
more than. Hey, I'm more than happy. Just Share the screen with me, and I'll let you handle it because it's
but
your.
But the fun part is when you try to share the screen. You see
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
You're messing up the ambiance.
Like that seems to be the theme of the show. Oh my God, get this thing.
I just turned 50 on Friday, so I guess it's apropos.
It's official.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Had to have my my birthday dinner.
Jesus Christ.
It was good.
I can't drink whiskey. It's the Indian inside of me. It makes me mean. Yeah. It's one thing I had to stop doing. All right. So here we go. Share screen. Share audio. Yes.
Alrighty.
All right. So that's play that freaking video. Let me unmute my shit. You know the story. A mad genius, an unholy creator.
That's Rocket.
Story. A mad genius, an unholy creation. The world, of course, remembers the monster, not the man. But sometimes, when you look closely, there's more to a tale. Sometimes the monster is the man. This is the story of Dr. Salem, Monster Hunter. Dr. Victor Frankenstein endures life-threatening wounds inflicted by his very own creation. His trusty assistant Igor injects him with the elixir of life, which puts him in a state of suspended animation. When he finally awakens, many years have passed and times have changed. The world that he knew is long gone and the tables have turned. Now monsters have emerged from the shadows and taken over. Victor Frankenstein finds that he is one in man due to the devastation his creation had wrought. To make amends for his transgressions, Victor assumes the guise of Dr. Salem and hunts down rogue monsters. This new and exciting series, created by artist and writer Preston Asevedo, is a 52-page graphic novel that combines Lovecraftian horror with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to give you a fresh new look into the world of classic monsters. So join the Doc Salem army and help Doc Salem bring peace and balance to the world, one monster at a time. Thank you for your support. So that's Doc Salem.
Oh, hey, we got Lovecraftian horror themes going in both of these comics. I like it a lot.
I'm not a huge fan of Lovecraft as far as his writing goes. I'm just a fan of the Monsterverse that he has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And from what I understand, like when I dove into that, I realized that he never really created a lot of those the monsters within the Cthulhu universe. He did create Cthulhu. I fleshed out Cthulhu and a couple of other ones. But
I think he came up with the idea of these old gods that were dormant but could come back.
But I know a lot of the gods that he added to that he actually took from other writers. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so.
It's weird. I know what you're saying. It's weird because it's very.
It's like if I took God's hand and said, "This is now part of the Doc Salem universe."
He does flesh out a lot of shit though. He takes concepts that are very vague, and then he strings them together, and he creates this universe out of it. Now, which was cool though, and this is what I dug about it is, and then just basically though never laid claim to any of that stuff. It just basically said, "Here, you guys want to take it. You want to go ahead and expand on it. Go for it." And he just kind of pushed it a little bit further.
It's like mythology, like just mythology,
and then he just pushed it and said, "Here, you guys go ahead. You go ahead and move it forwards."
And I'm very thankful for that because I really.
It's just I mean, no, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things absolutely that I'm trying to push forward as well is creating whatever universe God's hand is, which is to push that forwards into a universe where creators can create within that realm and use it and all, I mean, like it's that's what's cool about it, man. You know?
And so I incorporate a lot of those Lovecraftian themes in here as far as the monsters. There are universal monsters in Doc Salem too, because like Doc Salem it comes from my love for Frankenstein, the classic black and white film, Mary Shelley's. When I was growing up, you know, like I tell everybody, you know, I mean, it's not a badge of honor, but it's just part of the reason why Doc Salem is the way he is. It's because like I was raised in like an abusive home, you know what I'm saying? And I learned my morals and values through you know, cartoons, comics, and other things like that. And like later on, like when I was a little older, not much, like maybe around 6, 7 years old, I discovered horror, you know, and I was never drawn to like Dracula, you know, the creature from the Black Lagoon or anything like that. It was more like I was more into to like Frankenstein. And I think the main reason I was into it was because Frankenstein was more complicated than anything that was out around that time period, or even when I was growing up, you know. And like people seen it as just like a horror movie, but it wasn't just a horror movie. Like there was no villain in this horror movie, you know, and the monster was basically this 4-year-old mind put in this gigantor body, and his creator basically it's almost like bad parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like Frankenstein wasn't a very good father. He was he realized that he made a mistake once his monster opened its eyes and attacked him, you know. So instead of making it right, he kind of just let him go on his way and let the villagers take it from there. And in the end, he tried to kill his creation. With my story, Doc Salem, it takes place as Frankenstein's creating his masterpiece, you know, his monster. And he when the monster comes alive, you know, it attacks Frankenstein, of course, and just like the movie, but it mortally wounds him. And while Frankenstein lays bleeding and dying, Igor comes along with the elixir of life and injects him with what was left of the Frankenstein's elixir of life. But Igor's Igor. He's an assistant. He's not a doctor. So he doesn't expose Dr. Frankenstein to electricity. So the elixir actually puts the good doctor into a healing sleep, which lasts centuries. And so when Dr. Frankenstein finally awakens, you know, it's a brand new world. He went to sleep in the 1800s. He wakes up in the 1900s, you know, on the verge of being 2000s. And he you know, this isn't his world. He's still stuck in the 1800s. But he realizes, like Igor explains to him, like, you know, you can't use the name Frankenstein anymore because, you know, that creature you created did such a number on society that, you know, if they realized you were still alive, you'd be hunted and killed, you know. And so he takes the mantle of Dr. Salem, and he like tries to make amends for his mistakes, you know, because he's not a bad man. He was overly ambitious at the time when he did all of this. Now the key to the story is that the monster only appears in the beginning in this novel. Now the second book, we find out what happened to Frankenstein. Now the Frankenstein's monster. But what you have to realize is that Frankenstein, the monster, he's been awake for all this time, from the 1800s till now. So
sorry to interrupt. I got a dad thing I got to go take care of, but you please continue. I'll be right back. All right.
So he's been growing as a character all this time. You know, he's been learning. And the first, like when he first became aware, you know, when he first opened his eyes and became alive, it was all about survival. You know, he had to survive against, you know, the villagers, against, you know, his creator, all this kind of crap. So when he meets up with Dr. Salem again, Frankenstein's going to come from a place of power. Like he's either going to be an industrialist, you know, a billionaire, or maybe even a leader of a country. You know, I haven't really decided yet. Well, I have. I'm not telling you.
That's the way to do it, bro.
Yeah. So it's all about creating interesting characters. And to me, that's one of the most interesting parts of this is that Frankenstein is now, in a lot of ways smarter than Dr. Salem, because he's more aware of the world around him. And whereas Dr. Salem's still stuck in the 1800s, and he's cracked though, like that healing sleep, the elixir of life actually did a number on his brain. It changed his body. He doesn't have black hair anymore. It changed his hair to white. His skin is kind of a greenish tone now. He's horribly scarred, but from all the wounds that he took. So he's got scars all over his body, and he still talks like he's from the 1800s, but he's cracked. Like when he starts opening fire on Dagon, he doesn't let loose. Dagon's dead, his head's pulped, and Doc Salem's still blowing him away. And and there's a line from the book where he says, they say death changes a person, and then it does a close up on him while bullets are flying, and he says, I'm inclined to agree. So it's
nice.
It's like I try to give you a really in-depth look of Doc Salem in this issue. And also what's another interesting character is Igor, because Igor, when Doc Salem when he finally wakes up, Igor's ancient. Igor has been loyal to him all this time and has been keeping him alive and keeping him safe and protected.
What's Igor been doing? He's been fucking tapping the stash or what?
Igor has been preparing the way for Doc Salem's room. Well, Dr. Frankenstein.
No, he's been sneaking some of the elixir on the side.
No, he aged naturally. So he's bald, he's ancient, he's riddled with arthritis and shit like that. And it turns out that hump on his back has grown because it's actually a malignant tumor. And
I'm sorry.
So
because I'll be like, God damn, what the fuck happened to you?
I know, right? So he wakes up and he's like, holy fuck, dude, that's Igor? And he's like, so Igor, to repay Igor for his loyal service and his loyalty, Doc Salem transfers his brain, old school, like in the original movie, into a living host, which is an orphan child, a teenage boy that's brain dead. So he scoops up teenage's brain and puts Igor's in there. So to me, that made Igor a much more interesting character, because now you got Igor, who's a lot older than Doc Salem, who's stuck in this teenage body. So he it's
I wouldn't use the word stuck. I mean,
well, he gets a second chance.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You get to be a teenager again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Now all the moves and shit.
Absolutely. So Igor is Doc Salem's boy wonder. He's Igor. But Igor's always been like mechanically inclined, like to pave the way for Doc Salem's return. He's created a whole underground, a laboratory, which opens to the sea, so he built Doc Salem's the Doc Salem-mobile, which is the Mephisto, and it's a crazy story, but it's extremely interesting. In fact, the final monster that Doc Salem goes against in the story is a Gug. And the Gug is another Lovecraftian beast. What the hell? Well, it looks like we can't see the Gug. But hold on. Let me see if I can refresh this. There we go. So this is the Gug. I guess we're not seeing the Gug.
No, it cuts the image when you go to fit them in it.
I don't know why it did that.
It's like crazy. Panoramic view, bro. It cuts it off. I get pissed off every time.
Oh, hey, I got it. Let me bring it up here real quick. I'll bring it up. We can see the Gug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring up the Gug here.
Shit. Also, Doc Salem, there's there's a couple of add-on stories to the Doc Salem novel.
Is that the Gug?
Yeah, that's the Gug. So that's
that's
another Lovecraftian beast. And the Gug's kind of interesting too. Like I actually merged the Gug with another Lovecraftian thing called the Gask. So when the Gug feels like he's being defeated or he's overwhelmed, those pustules burst on his back, which give birth to the Gask. And the Gask are the next panel, well, the next square right next to it. I think you can that one, the other one, the black and white one. There you go. Well, you can't see them very well there.
Okay.
They bust out of its back as like, you know, these little henchmen of the Gug. Anyway, so yeah, Doc Salem, with this book, I've increased the page count and eliminated, like I was going to do an ash cam, but I decided not to do that and just increase the story count. So it's not going to be 48 pages, it's going to be 52 pages. One of the pages, the story pages, is done by the Lit Devil, which is pretty awesome. He does a full non-panel page with it, which has a definite ending, a beginning and an ending, and he's pretty amazing because it really caught my attention just that quickly. Also, I introduced another character called Gary the Hell Knight, and he's my version of Ghost Rider and Etrigan, but he drives a Vespa from hell. And also it kicks off the first Comicsgate crossover with Six Gun Gorilla and Doc Alphas. If you scroll down, you can see the alternate cover for that, and the crossover cover.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the net right now, dude. Like it's crazy. It's not coming up. But actually, share my screen again. I got it over here.
All righty, we'll do. Okay. Stop mine. Alrighty.
And so this is the crossover cover, and within the pages of Doc
not
Salem,
a boomer moment.
He has a crossover. It kicks off the crossover with Dr. Alpha and Six Gun Gorilla, which is going to be very interesting. I really dig both of these characters, and both of them, like Brian Crisco and the Lit Devil, are amazing writers. So this is definitely going to be something to check out. With the tiers, I'm also offering the mashup pieces I did with Doc Salem and Wizard Cop, and Vince from Blood. What is it? It's God damn it. I can't remember the name of it. Sims character. So as far as the tiers go, right now I have the featured tier as the crossover cover. You can always get digital. I do not suggest that because I can't sign digital.
Quick question. Tank wants to know, what is the recommended age for your book?
Actually, any age. If you don't mind gore. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of gore in there, but there's no like explicit sex or anything like that.
So, right. So kind of parental discretion advised sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me any age, because now, I mean, people let their kids watch goddamn anything. So.
Not a boomer moment. Free no prizes for everyone in chat.
Yeah.
And how about you, Anthony? Where is your is there an age for your comic, or is it
same? I mean, it's same difference. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily I mean, I guess there's no cursing, there's no nudity. I mean, there's like you're saying, there's gore, there's action. There's some heads getting blown off and shit. But I mean, like, I don't.
I would let my kids read my book. You know what I'm saying? Like when they.
I would too.
Little. So I don't. I mean,
we're from New Orleans, so that, I don't know. We let them.
I mean, we're in Mardi Gras. People show their boobs for beads.
I
know.
I put
me and Preston are so jaded with all this. We're like, what are you talking about? Of course, we let them look at this.
I don't know
what they've seen by the time they fall. Jesus, come on.
What can I say? I'm uptight middle. I come from uptight upper middle class. I'm going to let my kid read my comic when he's about age 10.
Let me put it this way: it's no worse
put teen plus, but it's everybody's.
Right? No, gotcha.
No worse than a '90s image book. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So, there's going to be exit wounds. Yeah, there's going to be shit like that.
Right. That's about the same for me.
Yeah. So I got 4 I'm a collector tiers, which are the 4 covers, original alternate covers that came with Doc Salem. So the first one is my cover, which is the main cover. Then I got my buddy Tim Laddie, who did a cover for it. Tim's the Ghostbusters artist for IDW. From what I heard, he's also working with Chuck Dixon on a project. Then there's the Derek Donovan cover. Derek's a buddy of mine. He actually models his style after Jack Kirby, and except I don't like it's wildly different from Jack Kirby's style.
It is.
And then so I got Johnny Segura. He did a cover for me. All of these covers, like, you don't have to get all of them. Like, you can, if you like one of them, like, say, you know, the Tim Lottie cover, and you're like, hey, you know what, I think I might want to get that Johnny Segura cover too, you can add it on at checkout. So it's no big deal. But if you want all 4 covers, I did do the Doc Salem fan club, which is $100. You also get the Doc Salem membership card, which comes with a decoder on the back. For the collectors out there, the art collectors, all the pages of Doc Salem are done traditionally. So I'm offering up most of those pages, you know, and it's very reasonable, $150. It usually doesn't come with a book, but if you want a book, I'll roll one up and throw it in there. But the reason why I don't offer a book with it is because it has to be shipped differently. Like, the books have to be shipped flat, where the artwork's rolled and put into an art tube. I'm a collector. It's I'm a collector of art. So this is the pencils from, and I'm also offering up the inks too for the crossover cover. So that's $350, but it's definitely worth it. When we do CV Con, you can go get it signed by Lit Devil and Brian Crisco if you feel like it. And so I did another I collect art where it's a mashup between Doc Salem, Death Sworn, and there's also Gene Simmons in the background there. And then the final I collect art is the Doc Salem Vince from fucking Blood Hunt and Magic Cop. Yeah. And then also it was pointed out to me that I do not have a high-end tier. So I offered one. It's a $3,000 tier, but you get a 24 by 36 canvas painting, and you can have anything put on it. Like, it's a commission piece. So you can have yourself put as Superman or Doc Salem or whatever.
There you go.
But
or you can have me do a nude. Like
you could do it. You're gonna do it.
Do a nude of him.
Hey, come on, man. only if he paint. Look, only if he does like Picasso. I just found out about Picasso the other day.
Oh,
he paints with his wiener, so you know.
Well, I got something else I'm going to look up this evening after my kid goes to bed.
I know.
Doc Salem has 3 days left on its
3
campaign,
days.
so I'm going to be making a big push from now until that ends. So if anybody's interested, do it now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
All righty. Anything else you want to tell us about your comic book?
Nope. That's it.
Get on to our last little bit. Thank you. Okay. Going to share my screen here, and all righty, we'll just.
Oh shit! God damn it! Am I still here? All right. I thought I closed the wrong window. Oh, Doc froze. Is he frozen on your end too?
Oh, shitty. Doc, what happened, man? You made that comment. The Boomer gods were like, "Oh, okay, brother. We got your ass now."
His all I'm getting is a swirl where his page.
That's what I'm getting. I'm getting the same thing. It's funny. Me and you may be frozen, and he's on his thing going, "What's going on, guys?
I don't think so. Actually,
to me anymore."
Doc, if you can still hear me,
type in the chat box.
Leave the studio and then come back in.
Come back. There you go.
Yeah.
Give us
don't end the stream.
Give us thumbs.
I tell you,
interesting. There's old Doc. What kind of sorcery wizardry is this?
I tell you, it's just one boomer moment after another today. I tell you. All righty, let's try this one more time here and see if I can not have a. All righty. All righty.
There you go.
This is from I think I grabbed this from a tinfoil hat Nick's Twitter feed. This is Camilla Zahn, because we were just talking. I mean, Tank brings up some good points. I mean, obviously there are some comic books that are great for adults, but not appropriate for certain ages. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, this Kickstarter employee, as far as I was concerned, was taking things way too far. I mean, when you're blocking books by your boy Zach, or I know a lot of people aren't fans of Mike S. Miller, but he had a comic book block because he included the gang MS-13, and he was like, "Hey, MS-13 is a thing." Okay, I'm just curious. What do you two think? I mean, how far should a company like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, take their censorship? I mean, because obviously, if someone wants to advertise kiddie porn, I mean, you need a censor for that, okay? And plus you probably even want to call the authorities too. But there's certain types of stuff that that should stay off. But okay, let me throw out a quick maybe not so hypothetical. No, seriously. Let's say Vox Day wants to promote a comic book on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, and it's his far alt-right stuff. Should Indiegogo or Kickstarter step in and say no on that? I mean, with the understanding that eventually you're going to get someone like a Kamala Zahn who comes in and enforces it on everything that's really not Vox Day, but
I think you in all seriousness, and I'm trying to take this seriously, but I think you step into an area that, again, how do you not fuck it up once you go in and you start once you start laying shit down, right? Who decides that? Who decides what the standards are? Mm-hmm. And then at what point is that interpretable standards? Because here's the other thing: if the standards aren't clear cut, can they be interpreted? And then who's interpreting them? And then is this changing from person to person, interpretation to interpretation? You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with it. To me, my thing is let it roll, let it all roll, let it all just roll through. Because either if it's acceptable and it's not, whatever, people are going to buy it. If it's not, it's going to die on the vine. You know what I mean? This idea. Go ahead,
you're absolutely right, actually. But I mean, there's certain things. I mean, this isn't that complicated. If it's against the law, don't put it up.
Exactly. There you go. I mean, I agree with that's my point. You already have laws that are in place for these things. So when you move into this laws. Yeah, exactly. When you move into this whole interpretable standard thing, it's like, well, who come up with the standards? And again, my thing comes back to is then you get into this realm of interpretation, and then it's like, because I'm a bit, and I understand the question, and that's my principled answer, but I'm also a little bit biased on this because I got the book Jawbreakers, I read it, I saw it. So that book being kicked off or not being allowed to go forward is a prime example of misinterpretation, because you're like, well, wait a minute, there is no there. There is no, so how did you make that determination? Based upon what? What did you know what I'm saying? Based upon what? Because you're saying there's a story that's set in Africa that has black characters that are bad guys. Okay. Yeah, God, you got black characters that are good guys. So I don't know, it's like, what is the there is no.
Well,
so
MS-13 you're getting, is a very violent
that's
Mexican gang, and they said
that's
it
a whole
was racist because they had a white guy.
I mean,
right. And so that's a whole nother one. It's like, it's what's the context? That's the other. It's like, what are you talking about?
You're absolutely right. I mean, the second you say no racist content, then it
what does that mean?
Yeah, well, even if you,
what does that mean?
There you go, and it becomes so amorphous that people like this then apply it to things that are not necessarily racist, but they find offensive. And
no one person should have that much power. And that's why when people create laws, they have to go through committees, they have to go through Congress, they have to go through court systems. This person should not have that much power. And to show why, just look at Kickstarter.
The thing is,
1,000%.
Well, the thing is that this is why I'm more of a libertarian, and I prefer markets to government, and I won't get into that thing. I'll just say that she doesn't have the power, and that I can get up and go over to Indiegogo. Sooner or later someone's going to say, hey, come to us if Kickstarter's booting you off, which is what so many of us did. And I suspect that's one reason why it's the get woke go broke thing here. Let me ask this: what if a company says, okay, we'll run some of this stuff, but we'll have a special a special section for adult only content? So say a kid can't be browsing through.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see a problem with that.
I don't think anything wrong with
Patreon
that.
does the same thing.
Yeah, you're still giving the consumer the option. That's the whole thing. You're still giving the consumer the option to engage.
I can see one objection that comes up to that is that, someone who has a comic book that maybe has a little bit of nudity, do they really belong necessarily in adult, in the adult content, in this sense that, in the sense that, your average customer doing a search, it might not come up in the search results because it's in this special area.
Well,
you get into minutiae.
You're just locked out, like unless you're logged in and they can verify your age. Then you're locked out. It's just like YouTube. Like if I wasn't logged into YouTube, there's certain videos that I can't see. Like if you but if you search for Brazilian on YouTube, there's a chick actually fully exposed, like giving herself.
Hold on, what's the name? Wait a minute. What's the name?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just so I know which ones to stay away from. Brazilian?
For research purposes only.
Gotcha. Just so I know which ones to stay away from. You know what I mean? I thought
Brazilian yoga would be cool, right? But then I was like,
not so much.
I was like, wait, what's this? I was like, on YouTube? I was like, this is Pornhub.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, there's certain but it's also parental responsibility. Like, hey, don't give your kid a YouTube account. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree. No, I agree.
Don't sign in for him. Yeah. Because
my kid does have a YouTube account, but they have a special thing set up for kids. So
sure.
Because he's underage, and that's why YouTube gives you the option. Is this for kids?
I think it's over. I think it's Preston said it best. It's like this is not that complicated. Like it's made out to be a lot more complicated than what it is. And it's like it's not. It's you have those who have come before who have laid groundwork for things. It's like just follow the groundwork and stop trying to reinvent the wheel and all this bullshit. It's like, what are you doing? Like you already have systems that are in place to utilize. Right, looking for this perfect system and destroying what is already working. It ain't happening. I mean, it's just this to me. This is a failed experiment by Kickstarter. I hope they see it as that. I'm not gonna disparage Camilla Zahn. She may, in her heart of hearts, believe what she's doing is right.
Yeah,
she may believe
it's a little bit of ego. Like she's in a place. I'll be honest. When I was art director, I got a couple. There was a few times I got drunk with power.
Well, yeah, but it goes across the board, Press. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolute. Yeah. I mean, it's a human thing, and that, like I said, I'm not going to disparage Camilla Zahn because she got an ego. You know what I mean? Welcome to the club. Welcome to the human race. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's a failed experiment. You lost out on Jawbreakers. You lost out on projects that, again, that's money you lost out on from dollars and cents signed. So whatever you did with that, right? It's like learn from your mistakes, right? And change and modify and adapt. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you get to see who's really running business and who's running ideology. Well, because you're you know what I mean? And you're moving into that fucking zone where it's like, look, it didn't work. No big deal. Go do your thing. Learn. Would you learn from it? How do you apply this? How do you change from it? You know what I'm saying? And if they don't,
you're
like
right,
I said,
Kickstarter could have come in at any point and said, you know what? You don't have the power to reject these projects. This doesn't go with the rules of Kickstarter, But then if her higher ups are also woke They're like,
again, the market will let us know. The market's going to let us know that too. It'll tell us what's up with that, because they'll either adapt to it, to the principles of the market, or they'll try to stop the waves of the ocean and get crushed by it. So it's, it's just one of those things where after everything is said and done, because I done got myself all wrapped into all this bullshit, politics and all this kind of stuff. But after everything is all said and done, it's like, gotcha. Well, where am I going? What am I doing? And let me put my focus on that and try to move forwards and build something. And in the process, if it has merit, if it has virtue, if it has any type of substance to it, it'll spring, it'll grow. And if it don't, it'll die, and I'll have to plant something else. And it's just, you just keep moving forwards like that.
All righty. I think that's a great comment to end it on. Let me just bring up the books one more time here.
I think Tony just wants to bang Camilla's on.
Hey, bro, hey, you know what? I got a thing for Asian food now. Don't get me wrong.
All righty. Anthony Figaro, his comic book is God's Hand. And let's see here. Preston Asevedo, his is Doc Salem.
Salem.
And mine is Tilt. Links to all of them are in the description below. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thank you to my guests for getting up a little early. And do back their comics. All righty. Peace
Thank
out,
you,
guys.
Tank, for putting us out there, bro.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.